Hey, welcome everyone to Canucks. My name is RevTrev, and I've been kind of hesitating to make this video. I've been wanting to make it for a few days now, and but the rumors are flying. There's more and more conversation about this, and I don't know if it's just people trying to do clickbait, or where there's smoke, there's fire. And so when you look at this Vancouver Canucks team, and you look at this idea that they want to rebuild and retool, like hybrid retool, whatever you word it, our word you want to use, I think that you need to think about this. And the big question is this today: should the Vancouver Canucks trade Elias Pettersson? Yes, EP40. Now, I already know what people are going to say. They're going to say things like, RevTrev, we know you don't like him. We know you want him gone. You've made a million trade videos about EP40, and he's still here. And you're right. You're right. 100%. You're right. He's still here. The fact is he going to be moved? Is this a consideration that Elvin and Rutherford are trying to do? And it's I mean, if you think about, like, let's just think about it just for a minute. If we're truly rebuilding this roster, shouldn't everything be on the table? It should be, right? And that's the case. If that's the case, then Elias Pettersson has played better, and maybe now is the time where you move Elias Pettersson. Now, we need to understand that he's got a no movement clause. We understand that he has played better. I don't know. Can we say he's bounced back? Sure, we can say that. What does that mean? The revenge tour did not pan out. He's been injured. He missed a number of games, okay? And so I'm just sitting there and I'm thinking about all of this and go on, maybe now is the time, but it's going to be difficult. It's going to be really difficult. So as a Vancouver Canuck fan, post in the comments, would you be willing to move EP40 for the right price? I'm not saying just gas him, because listen, Elias Pettersson is a very skilled player. My biggest concerns is not his skill set, whether he has enough in the tank to lead this team or help this team win a Stanley Cup. I don't think he's a play driver. He's not the McKinnon, the McDavids, those kind of guys. Even though he's getting paid the Draisaitl and all those guys money, he's not that kind of player. He's like a complimentary player that does really well in certain circumstances. He needs somebody else on his line that drives the play, and then he feeds off that and he scores goals, or he makes the great pass because he's a great passer. And we all know that Elias Pettersson is a great defender. Now, people have tried to compare him to Datsuk. I don't think he'll ever be as good as Datsuk, but maybe he proves me wrong. Maybe he, in the next number of years, changes his game around in such a way where he dominates again. I just don't think that he's ever going to get back to the 102-point season like he did in Vancouver, or with Vancouver a few years ago. That was just a lightning in a bottle. But then people say, well, he has scored 89 points after that. Yes, but if you want to keep that logic going, then what did he do? Right? And he hasn't played well until this year. It's been 2 years of playing terribly. Now, some people said it's an injury, all that kind of stuff. But is now the time to move Elias Pettersson? And it's worth having a conversation. I already know people are typing in right now. They're all angry, like, you hate Pettersson. I'm like, okay, well, I don't know. Hate's a strong word, everyone. I don't hate him, but I would not hate it if we moved him for the right price. Let's put it that way. Okay. So this is the question. Whenever there's so many people that come into my comments and say, trade Elias Pettersson, get rid of him. He's, a Bambi, always falls over. He's not strong enough. He's not good enough. He's not a winner. Like, people come into my comments, tell me that. Okay. That's what they say to me. They have valid points, valid things. Whether I agree or disagree is irrelevant. But people are talking to me about it. Now, I always respond with this one question. What team would be willing to take on that contract? And I think that I've narrowed it down to possibly 2 teams. Okay. I think the Carolina Hurricanes and possibly the Montreal Canadiens would be willing on taking that contract. We all know what he can do. We all know how he can play. And in the right situation, I think he can really excel. The Carolina Hurricanes is the one that's the most intriguing. I'll do that one second. But the reason why I think it's super interesting is because, for example, they've already expressed interest, or the Canucks and them have expressed interest twice about making a deal. Right before he signed his contract, and there was another one right before he his no trade clause, no movement clause kicked in. Okay. There's been a couple discussions with the Carolina Hurricanes. They seem extremely interested. And just recently, there is new rumors coming out. And I don't know if it's a rumor or a report. I would assume it's a rumor that Elias Pettersson, there's a deal not on the table, but there was a deal that's been circulating now. You may have seen some videos or seen some tweets or posts, Reddit posts about it. And it's circulating Vancouver right now. And the question is, as a Canucks fan, would you be willing to do some of these deals? Okay, let's start with Montreal. We'll do this one real quick. But I think it's worth the conversation. Because if you look at the Quinn Hughes trade, they wanted at least a player or two, a prospect, and a draft pick. Okay? So the Quinn Hughes trade, William was the prospect who is now a player. And listen, last night, he had the most minutes of any Canucks defenseman, which is wild to think about. And he didn't have a great night either. Then you had Rossi, who's the centerman that we got. And then Ogren is the prospect that we're really developing. And he's played really well for us already. Okay. Then we got the first round pick. Okay. So let's go to Montreal's the trade rumor. Okay. Pettersson, and it might not just be Pettersson, it might be Pettersson plus in some of these deals, but these are the 2 ones. Montreal would trade for Pettersson, and they would get let's do this here. Michael Haig, and then Oliver Kapanen and Adam, is it Enstrom? Is that how you say it? And the second round pick. Okay. So we already know this gentleman that's sitting in front of us. We're watching him, Team Canada World Juniors. This is one of the trade offers that are being sent. I mean, he's had some tough moments in the tournament already. He's also had some success. And Montreal's definitely got to be high on him. I mean, we've already seen him. He's the center, right, for the McKenna line with Brady Martin and Gavin McKenna. Okay, which would make a lot of sense because the Canucks want to go there. They want to go there, right? So that would be, this is a really interesting trade. Now, I've seen some Montreal fans say, no, absolutely not. Where it's like, what if Pettersson puts you over the top and gets you to be legitimately, like, the scoring gets crazy if you bring Pettersson there, right? And so Enstrom, is 6'2", 193 pounds, and then he's the left-handed shot defenseman. He's a Swedish guy, which we all know the Canucks love Swedes. By the way, I'm going to be doing a video on Sweden, and the Vancouver Canucks either tonight, tomorrow, next day. You'll want to see that one. And then Kapanen is 6'2", 195 pounds, center from Sweden, plus, is it Haig? Or Haig? No, it's Haig. Michael Haig. I think it's Haig. And a second round pick. Okay. So would you do this deal? I think this is a really interesting deal. I would be very interested. Like, Pettersson's making $11.6 million on the cap hit for the next, 6 more years? 7 more years? I think 6, 7 years. So here we are, right? Would you do that deal? This is the thing about the Quinn Hughes trade that's different. Quinn Hughes gets traded for all those guys, and they don't know if they're going to be able to re-sign him. Okay? They're taking a major risk. This is a massive rental deal. If it's only a year and a half or maybe only a year and a bit, because if they have to trade him by the deadline to get something, they don't know, and they still made the offer. Now, if he resigns with Minnesota, then that's great, right? That's great. But you know that Pettersson's signed for a number of more years. Like, you had that guarantee. You're not going to be worried that he's going to want to go somewhere else. So Montreal would be a great landing spot for Pettersson. I think he would get into that lineup and start producing right away. But the one that everyone wants to talk about today is the Carolina Hurricanes trade rumors that leaves Pettersson for Svechnikov, Logan Stankoven, and a 2026 first-round pick. Now, I think as Canuck fans, when you look at this, and you're just talking about rebuilding this team and doing it, and I know that the management has not said, okay, and I need to switch the picture here. Management has not said that they want to do a full tear down to the studs rebuild, okay? They have, in fact, said they're not interested in doing that. But if you can get great value, why wouldn't you consider it or pull the trigger? This is might be the thing that the Canucks need to do. This deal right here, I think I would just push accept. The only issue that I have with this one, and this is from a Vancouver perspective, I don't know if Carolina would do this, is Stankoven is only getting paid $850,000 this year. Svechnikov is making 7.75. He's been struggling. So that's around 8.75 million, just under. And probably Carolina will have to throw in more to be under the cap, right? So maybe you throw in a Höglander. Oh, no, you can't. They would need to throw in more. I don't know how it's going to work. But this is the one that's going around, and I personally would highly consider doing this offer. Okay? So I want to dive into your comments. Many of you are here right now talking. I know that everyone's interested in talking about this. I know there's going to be people angry. I know there's going to be people that are going to be very, very excited about this deal. So let's talk about it. Let's get into it. Let's get into the comments. But it's worth considering, man. Stankoven is small, but he's talented. Svechnikov, I've seen a lot of him over the years, and I think he's a really talented player. Maybe he just needs new scenery, or maybe he's a dud. If you look at, if we go to Puckpedia, let's quickly do that before I get into the comments. So Puckpedia, and we go to Carolina. I'll bring it up here. So, not New Jersey, Carolina. Okay, so right now, well, their current cap space is $11 million or $14 million, everyone. So they do have enough space to pull this deal off. Okay. So let's just bring this up. I'll show it to you real quick here. Okay. So did it come up? Yeah, here it is. Okay. So as you can see, Svechnikov is getting paid. He's on a 10-team approved trade list, so modified no trade clause for the next 4 seasons at $7.75 million for those next 4 years, this year and the next 2 years. Okay. Then if you look at Stankoven, he is, I see where you're going to need more. He's only making $800,000 now, but it's $6 million starting for there, and it's a large contract. Okay. And he's a center right winger, only 22 years old. So that's what we're going to have to throw in. So maybe you would have to put in, Höglander, or DeBrusk at this stage. Guys, I don't know if you've seen this or not, but on the trade watch that I've been talking about here, DeBrusk is a healthy scratch for tomorrow's game, and he's ticked, and rightfully so. He should be mad. But Höglander could be on the move. DeBrusk, Sherwood, Kane could all be on the move as well. That could be to help offset the costs of Stankoven. Does it work? Does it work financially? Does it work? Would Carolina fans be excited? I know as a Canucks fan, I'd be pumped about this trade. And I just like those players that are coming back, and I like that we get a first-round pick. That would be awesome. And Carolina, let's be honest, they've got a chance. They've got a window to try to win a cup, and this is their way of trying to do this. So I want to dive in. I want to dive into your comments, okay? I want to get into this, and before I do that, I'm going to hit the promo. But pumped to hear from you. I want to hear from you. Should the Canucks trade Elias Pettersson to the Canadiens, to the Hurricanes, maybe to another team? Let me know in the comments. I don't know if you know this, but I just got this hat for Christmas. My son bought it for me. I love it. It's beautiful. I also got another Kempner Canucks one made. And just a reminder, if you want a Kempner Canucks hat, email me at kempnercanucks@gmail.com. And this is the new Kempner Canucks hat that I've got done for Team Canada for the Olympics. If you want one, let me know. Email me. But I've got all kinds of hats that are available. I've got the white one that I've done, which is real nice. By the way, they're all snapbacks, so it doesn't matter what size, it will fit your head. Then there's this sweet black one. This one's probably the most popular one. Let me know if you want one of those. And also there's the blue. Now the blue one is different because this is the Orca blue that is, I can't get this kind of Orca blue. You know what I mean? So like this is see the difference here. This is the difference. This is the Naslin Bertuzzi Kluche Jovo kind of color. Okay, so I find that with the blue jersey, the white one turns out real nice, as you can see here. Right, I usually wear these two together. And then if you have a black skate jersey, of course you can do this one, you can do this one, and it's good to go. So let me know. No pressure. Just want you to know what's available to you. Okay, I'm diving in to your comments, and the big question is, should the Vancouver Canucks trade Elias Pettersson? There are 131 people in here right now. It's a Sunday afternoon. This is just crazy news. Okay, so Skechnikov, Stankoven, and a first pick. It's a no-brainer, pretty much doubling your point production value. Well, yes and no. I mean, Carolina is better. But yes, if you want to just compare it, I mean, Pettersson's the highest scoring player on our team. He's got 22 points. Is that right? Out of 28 games. Yeah, if we're just going by points, yeah, but we're talking about actual players and potential. However, trading him is admitting a massive failure and choosing him over all others: Zadorov, Lindholm, Suter, Miller, Hughes. It's a long line of casualties. I agree with you. Prick, I agree. Sure, trade him all away. He's saying okay. And I was wondering if Green was going to come in here, and the answer is no. He doesn't want to do that. I knew you're the PD guy. I get it, and you might be right. I'm not saying you're wrong. So yeah, fresh start. Lyndon says there, or Burns these. It's always Lyndon to me because I know that's your name. Yeah, so Marcus says absolutely we should do this trade. Dwayne says trade him for sure if you can. The no trade clause might get in the way, but if we're in a rebuild, then we should get rid of that money that comes with the contract. I think we should be open to that. Green says PD stays. We need other elite top 6 players to play with him. Legit top 6. Trade Garland, Kane, Sherwood, Lankinen, or Demko. End up with 3 plus firsts. I don't think you're getting, listen. You're not getting, I'm going to go with you, okay? I'm going to go with you. You're not going to get 3 first-round. Oh, you're saying 3 plus. So we've already got 2. Yeah, I don't think we're going to get a first-round pick for Sherwood. If we do, that's going to be a miracle. Kane, on the other hand, could be. No, he couldn't do. No, wait a minute. Kane, we got for a 4th. There's no way that we're getting a first or a second, or if we get a 3rd, I'd be pumped. If we could just get a 4th back for him, I'd be happy. Honestly, just save the salary and just move on. But yes, if we could end up with 3 plus firsts and continue the rebuild we have with a great young D-core already, then you're saying we're going to be fine. We don't need to trade Pettersson is what you're saying, but trade these other guys. I don't think trading Garland makes us better. You know what I'm saying? I can understand Kane or Sherwood, and I love Sherwood. I do not want to trade him, but I hear what you're saying. Okay, PD won't get more than 80 again. Tough to say. Stuart's in the building, and he says trade Pettersson. Lionsgate says good player. He just doesn't fit with this team, and that's a fair thing. Merry Christmas, RevTrev. All the best to you, and thank you so much. I'm at that stage. What do you say? Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. This in between, I don't know what to do with. Okay, so of course Pettersson should be moved. He's weak. He's not a competitor. He's not that talented. See, firefighter Prez, lots of people come into my comments and say things like this. And I'm not saying they're right or wrong. I mean, sometimes I felt like I've said a lot that maybe we should consider trading him. I've seen him be weak before. I wonder about his compete level. I do think he's really talented, though. I really do. Like, he's super skilled. It's just that he struggles, and I don't know why. So, Sketchenkov and Stankoven is already better, plus a first-round pick as a bonus. I don't think both those guys are better than Pettersson. I think Pettersson's better than both of those guys. Individually, now together, fair. To quote Emperor Palpatine, do it. I'm guessing that the Canucks will get a second and a third plus a mid-tier prospect for Pettersson, and the Canucks will need to retain $4 million. I don't think you do any of those trades where you got to retain salary. It doesn't work for us, but we'll see. That could be a case. Should have traded for Ignatius years ago. Exactly. I made a video early on. I mean, what was that, 2 years ago now? I made a video about that trade that got axed. They offered Ignatius, and like hindsight 2020, we should have picked him. Okay. Lionsgate says trade him and get a good package with the first back. That would be awesome. Sports Moment says, yes, this franchise needs a fresh start. So I guess if you're team tank and team rip it down to the studs rebuild, then you're all in on this trade. And if you're not, then you're not, right? And you're not going to be interested in it. So settle down now says, I do that. Montreal, I don't think would. Also, not sure Petey's wife wants to live in Montreal. Why not? Beautiful there. Oh, I guess and maybe because she's Swedish, so she's going from Swedish to English and now has to do French. Maybe. I don't know. I have no idea what his wife does want or doesn't want, and how would you know? But good question, maybe, to raise. Green says Garland should be at the top of the list to be traded, in my opinion. Others too, but he's at the top. I think the guys at the top is Kane and Sherwood are at the top, but I understand that you have him at your top. Carolina offers better, in my opinion, just older. That's okay. Both good deals, but Hurricanes deal is better. Fair. Jack says Garland, EP40 and DeBrusque, and the UFA's got to go. Okay. Mitch is in the building. Greetings, buddy. Happy holidays. I'm doing well. Thank you so much. Glad that you're here. Jarrett says, yes, they should trade. Jarrett says they should trade Pettersson. Jack says, I would do that trade. Japan 4 says, after all the trade talks and different offers, but remember, EP40 can say no. Smells like this could be a JT Miller trade 2.0. Yep, he's got the final say because he doesn't have to go anywhere. Simon says, in your opinion, do you think Vancouver, what do you think Vancouver should do with Carolina? I would do this deal. This is at least the third time Carolina's expressed interest, but Green raises a good point. We are still low on center depth. Don't fix that just to trade it away. Oh, by the way, speaking about that, Green, Russell from Nothing is Perfect did talk about this as well in my last stream. Says, why would we trade away our highest scoring player? That's a very good question. Guys, we've had a bad year and he's our highest scoring player. Why would we trade him away? We need an overhaul on the wings, top 6 wings. How do you get top 6 wingers? You got to trade something good to get something good. So I thought Buffalo wanted EP40. Yes, they did, but they just won 8 in a row. So they're probably not, they're probably happy with their chemistry right now. Montreal trade looks better unless we trade Skechnikov. You don't like him, eh, Jack? I know he struggled this year. Any trade without a legit number 2 center is a non-starter, end of story. Okay. Well, isn't Stan Coven a number 2 center? And the Canadian boy is playing center with McKenna. And if we tank and now you reunite him and McKenna together, that could be the duel for, the next 10, 15 years together. I don't know. It's something to think about. Hito's coming back, by the way. Petey's been fine. He just has no support in his opinion. Okay? That's fine. That's a good comment. 12 million players shouldn't need support. That's the problem. That is the problem. 100%. Carolina trade would be great for Vancouver. Absolutely, Stuart. Put McDavid with this lackluster forward group and he'd struggle too. I think he'd struggle, but I still think he'd score 100 points. Marcus, sorry, afternoon used to being on. No, it's true. Skechnikov has 27 points this year. I know, but he's played the whole year, right? That's too much of a package. Don't think Carolina would do that. Lionsgate, I don't think they would either, but that's the rumor that's going around. EP40 does have trade value because he has elite potential and is a center. Take back some money and cash in on him. No point in us keeping him. We suck. Yeah, we're dead last. Stankoven is tiny. Yes, he is. But he's super talented. I think he played for the Canucks Blazers, if I'm not mistaken. Invisible says, get rid of PD. He's soft and fragile. Tyler says, Canucks love tiny hockey players. I know that is the challenge for sure. But the NHL has changed. What other trade rumors in your opinion should Vancouver do? I've already talked about 2 of them today. So Montreal and Carolina. I do think that DeBrusk could be on its way out. Like, being a healthy scratch for tomorrow's game is shocking to me. I would not be surprised if DeBrusk gets traded this week, everyone. Like, seriously. So that's my hot take. Stankoven is 20 pounds more than PD, probably. Well, let's look at that. Okay. So Stankoven. So Stankoven is 5'8", so he's short, 165 pounds. Okay. I think Pettersson's bigger than that. And Pettersson's 6'2", 176. So, I mean, we're talking about 11 pounds difference. 11 pounds different. Okay. 11 pounds, everyone. And then, and then if we go back and just like look at Garland, for example, where am I here? Get rid of that. How big is Garland? I think he is 165. He's 5'10". So it's basically Connor Garland, everyone. It's Connor Garland size. So Nikki says, Kempner Canucks, we appreciate you always breaking down the rumors and giving us the down low. I would do this deal in a heartbeat. I'm with you right there. Thank you very much. Thanks for your support. Thanks for watching. Appreciate you. Yeah. I mean, this is just a rumor. I'm not saying it's happening, but boy, it's worth talking about. Take the first round picks and get this rebuild rocking. There you go. And Canucks ownership needs to think, or he will find an empty arena. I think people are going to. We're passionate hockey fans. We're going to stay. But my sister got me a nice new hat, new Canucks cap. Sweet, Dave. That's awesome. Hey, if you message me on Facebook, go to Kempner Canucks on Facebook or on Instagram or on X. I think you can message me at, and then you can just send me the picture of the hat. I would love to see which one you got. Larry says, yes, trade him. Larry wants us to trade him. Absolutely. Okay. Calvin says, could we trade Demko for Linus Ullmark? Ullmark took a leave of absence. Every time a player takes that, he is usually being traded. If we really want to tank, we should trade Demko. I haven't thought about this, but I think the Canucks would be open to it, just knowing his injury history. But I love Demko, so it's hard for me to say yes to that. 2 Points says, no, don't trade EP40. With his salary, he won't get enough in return. Have you seen the trade offers? They look pretty good, man. Yeah, there's an invisible arena here, Richard says. By the way, so no practice facility in Vancouver. And then if you think about the Olympics, is Italy going to be prepared and ready to go for that stadium? Does not look like it's going to be ready to go. I mean, I wonder if the Olympics are even going to happen for there. I would trade PD for just a first-round pick. Unloading the 11.6 would give us so many options for a young team going forward. I hear you, Dave. That is definitely an option. Kelly Duncan says, happy holidays. Yeah, that's probably the thing you have to say, right? It's happy holidays right now. Christmas is over. New Year's is just around the corner. So we'll happy holidays, baby. Lionsgate says, I could see EP40 going to Buffalo or the Devils. I think last summer it would have been Buffalo, but now I just don't see them doing that. Don't trade. He's helping the Canucks tank. There you go, Kelly. There's Team Tank right there. EP40 needs a change, Jimmy says. Green says, as far as the 3 plus first, I meant the 2 we already have, plus 1 from possibly a Sherwood or Garland or Demko trade. Okay, that's fair. Pierre Barron says, I don't see any team taking on the entire 11.6. Canucks have no leverage. We will be forced to retain. I don't think that's the case when it comes to Carolina. I think with Carolina, they'd be open to doing it. Because, I mean, if you don't retain, okay, so let's go back to the other one, okay? So you're talking Stankoven is going to start making $6 million, not this season, next season, for how many years? And Skechnikov makes $7.75 million. You can't do that, right? Well, I guess you can. But they have tons of cap space. Vernon says, if the Canucks have any chance to trade EP 11.6 and his contract, they would have to throw in a first-round pick and probably take on another bad contract with less term like Lane. I see what you're saying. I don't know if I agree, but you might be right. Larry says, yes, trade him. A lot easier than buying him out in the future. I don't think the Canucks should buy out EP40. It's not in our best interest. Jack says, I heard a rumor Kane half retained is around a second. Okay. I'd do that in a heartbeat. Sherwood at first. I just don't see it, guys. I think if we get a second round pick for Sherwood, we just do it. If we can get a first, I mean, you guys have more faith than I do about this because there aren't many bad teams. There aren't many sellers. Looks like sellers market we could clean up and get a ton of picks. I just don't think so. I think any playoff team would want a guy like Sherwood. Some would want Kane. Point says, I think Sherwood gets a first, and at his salary, every contender could add him for peanuts cap-wise. Yeah, exactly. He's making nothing. 189 people here in the chat. This is crazy. EP40 used up all his power-ups during his first 4 years. Okay, Richard. Cutie says, trade him. Get rid of the stench of this failed course, fresh start he wants. Okay. Trade DeBrusque for young wingers. That's fair. Dave says she wants the social media money. Going back east would be her best bet. Okay. Oh, so you mean talking about Montreal or Carolina for EP40's wife? Settle Down says his contract has too much term to retain salary. 6 years after this one. Saving grace as it was signed pre-cap increases. True. Sensei Dean says, I'd like 2 blue chip and 2 firsts, 1 this year and 1 next year for PD. Okay. Chris says, Garland is a play driver and it would be a huge mistake to trade him. Yeah, I like Garland. I want to keep him. Brian says, I'd be heartbroken if they traded him, but hockey is a business. By the way, Happy New Year. Happy New Year to you as well, Brian. I appreciate it. I get it. I understand there's a lot of Pettersson fans. Green says, Woodsy should get a first. I just don't see it, but I hope you're right. Makes 3 for us. Garland gets a second. Demko gets us a first or a second. If Lang, I think you're overvaluing our players, man. I don't think we're going to do that. Plus, they're not interested in trading all those guys away. I think, but I don't know. Maybe you're right. Also think trading Sherwood is a big mistake. I want to keep him. I want to keep him for sure. Sensei Dean says, I'm sure even for PD, he would do better somewhere else. It's fair. Jack, our highest scoring player is Quinn Hughes, and we just shipped him out. EP40 shouldn't be safe at all. It's just harder to move him. No trade clause and his contract. What's the Montreal trade? Who's in it? Okay, Brian, I'm going to go back to that. Here. This is the trade that was floating around. So it's a lot of young guys. A lot of young guys. I would be very open to this deal. Could be really good. Could be really good. Let's get back into it. Comments. So that was it. That was it. I just think Sketchnikov wouldn't fit our timeline if we get him, got to flip him. That's possible. Green says that Montreal package is nice, but if you don't want to get too young, winning is great for growth. Got to keep some vets around. I agree. That's why I'd keep Garland. That's why I'd keep Sherwood. I wouldn't keep Kane under any circumstances. Peter says we can make it with 2 second-line centers if EP40 were traded. Yes. Wayne says no, don't trade EP40. Sensei Dean says the Twins teach too much cycle. We need shots. I agree. But EP40 is not open to the Twins, it sounds like. So they don't have a good relationship. So what does that mean? I don't know. Jack says, I personally like the Montreal trade better. Interesting. Dave says that after hours interview with Connor gave me a newfound respect for him. Why couldn't we have a captain with that maturity rather than little jerk off who quit on us? Woo! Dave, I'm not upset at Quinn Hughes at all for leaving, and I'm actually a pretty big Quinn Hughes fan. So put PD between Linus Karlsson and Garland. It's actually a decent idea. I like that idea. Why haven't they tried that yet? You know who else they should put by PD is Ogren. Go up to the top line. Okay, 200 people here now, everyone. This is crazy. Green says, yes, McDavid probably still would get 100, but that's what I'm saying. It wouldn't be 120, 130. Take that percentage off PD now. Yeah, I don't think it translates the same. So Bing Tang Warriors here. Too much, too little, too late. Sing it, Trev. I don't even know that song. How did it? Too much, too little, too late. We're stuck with Petey. I don't know. That's awful. He may be tiny, so is Garland, and Garland is a good player. I know not everyone's a Garland type player, though, has the drive the dog in him, you know. Peter says DeBrusque would be a good trade if we can get good player in return. That's fair. Dickie says we need more Canadian and American players with more size. We need to be stronger on the puck. That's you're right. We need to be stronger on the puck. But does that mean it's going to be an American and a Canadian player that does that? I don't know. What picks do we have for 2027? Let's quickly look. We have a first round, no second, 1/3, 2/4, and then 1/5, 6th, and 7th. So yeah. So no second in 2027. But this year we have 2 firsts, 1 second, 0 third round pick, and then there's a 4, 5, 6, and 0 7s. Okay. Those mock trades are right, though. EP40 should get around there. It's not like a cap dump, right? Chris says, if this, come on, why is this not working? Uh-oh. Okay, there we go. Stankoven is a great player. Whatever line you put him on, instantly gets better. Sensei Dean is with Nikki. Rick Fetty is agrees with Chris. Wayne says don't touch the defense. Maybe Myers may move some forwards out. DeBrusque has a no trade, but a couple scratches, and he might waive. Trade Besser if you want to, not Garland. Yeah, there's a lot of options, right? Frank says do it 100%. 11.6 is the elephant in the room now. He's a cancer. I did make a video on that the other day, whether he's a bad teammate or bad in the locker room. I think Allmark has a death in the family or something personal, not a trade option. Okay. Richard says there will always be fans in the building no matter what. We have the best fan base. Hey, I like our fan base. So now granted, have we rided twice? Yes, that's bad. But I'm talking about loyal, stuck with this team through thick and thin. We've got some of the best fans in the league. Okay. Jack says, I don't want to settle with only 2 firsts. Get more. We should have 3 or 4 this year and next year. You want to turn this round quick. And in the first round, 8 times this year and next. Yeah, I mean, that's the goal, right? That's the goal. But it takes time for these guys to develop. Montreal offers 3 very good prospects, a depth with the second round pick. Carolina gives 2 instant veterans and a first round pick. I would be happy with either one. Trade offers and trade rumors are 2 very different things. I agree. So it's what I talk about is the difference between rumors and reports. So line changes in the building. Good to see you, Tyler. With Pete on the team, will sink like a rock. Keep him. So you want to be team tank. Everyone hit that like and subscribe for Kempner Canucks. Thank you, Line Change. I appreciate that. It's very kind of you to say. Petey to Detroit for Finney, Rasmussen, Nate Danielson, and their first. I don't think they would do that. They're not going to do that. They didn't do the Quinn Hughes deal, so I don't think they do the Pettersson deal. It's Petey's first game back. Give him a chance. Okay. I feel like we've given him a chance for 2 years here. Don't trade just to trade. Okay. If the price is right, then do it. Yeah, exactly. That's why these are legitimate looks, you know. That's why I like the Montreal trade better. Okay. Lion says if you can't get a first for Sherwood, keep him and make Sherwood our captain. I'm okay with that, Lionsgate. But okay, let's go back to the Sherwood conversation. And I need to do an extra video on this. But they like him. They just don't like him for that. Listen, guys, we're talking about a third line winger. Now, last night he played on the first line. I think it's because they're trying to trade him. But he's a third line winger who scored and who hits everything that moves. Okay, so that's good. That's good. Okay, I would like a bag of pucks for PD if they retain full salary. So you just want to get rid of them. Okay, sounds good, Dell. It's a good offer. I think both immediately help fill holes. Jack says both deals are good to you. Remember when you went and saw all 3 Minnesota kids play and said they were all busts? I didn't say they were busts. I said that I didn't notice them. I remember watching one kid, and I'm sure it was Boehm, but I remember saying there's this one defenseman, and I've never heard of him. Who is this guy? When I saw him live, and I was like, there's this one guy. And I thought Faber looked good. Juracek was decent. There was one other defenseman, and I think it was Boehm. But I don't know. I can't remember. I wish I would have recorded more of that game when I was there. Thanks to the Kane deal? Oh, no. Take the Kane. Thanks. Take the Kane deal. Okay. Ryan says that. Okay. I just watched a Beret documentary style video, and really, he was the best. He was. He's my favorite player right here. Garland is the Canucks' most consistent player. I agree. Jack says, I was just responding to Nothing is Perfect point that we can't trade EP because he's our highest point per game guy. We're 32nd and traded our best player already. EP40 is 100% on the table and should be. I don't think he's 100% on the table, but he should be, as I agree. Frank says, trade Demko. He's one injury away from career ending, and he's playing well. Now is the time. That's a fair statement. Peter says, if EP40 is not making players around him better, we'll sink like a rock. Green says, Garland can have all the heart he wants. He's still 4'6". He's 5'6", man. And he seems like a guy that wants to win now. Now, be a part of a rebuild, make a good name for himself at the World Championships. We'll see. We'll see. Yeah, it makes no sense. They just trade. It doesn't matter as long as they get good value, right? Or they need to move someone out. They're not afraid to make trades. Garland is counting the hours, by the way. He doesn't want to stay. Wow. Unless he's the next captain, everyone. There are 4 really good players in 2027. Interesting. NHL prospects for 2027 draft. Okay, let's go to elite prospects. DuPont, Alex Joseph, Carter Meyer for the States, Sammy Nelson for the States, Sundstrom, Modu Hockey U18, and I don't know how to say Dima Zilkin, OHL player. I don't know. I don't know anything about these guys at this stage, so I should probably bring that up, right? That's what I should do. So you guys can see these names. This is according to Elite Prospects. I just tried to butcher those names by myself there. That was really dumb of me. Okay. These are the ones right here. 2027 draft prospects. These are the top ones right there. So, okay, let's just dive into it. If PD does get traded, got to be the Montreal deal, as it's clearly a full rebuild. The Carolina package is more of a stay competitive deal. That's fair. Dell says no trade clause means nothing if the team wants to trade him. It's true. Well, it's not fully true. It's not fully true. They still could trade him. Or sorry, he can still say no to the deal. That's what I'm saying. Okay, let's get this out of here now. Do you think Alvin and Rutherford deserve to be a part of the draft and rebuild? Sure. You know what? I like Rutherford a lot, and I think him and Alvin work good together, but why not? I mean, who else are we going to get? 2025? I mean, okay, let's go back. Who else are we going to get? Brendan Shanahan's available? Is that what you want? I don't know. Green, they wouldn't trade everyone else if PD was the issue. I just don't think he's getting traded. They had ample time to do it. I don't see it now. That's a very, very valid point. Kelly, Captain Hughes was great. It was management that dropped the ball, failed to build around him. That's fair as well. As an outsider, why is it not a problem having Rutherford and Alvin? Which other team has two GM type people? Is that a problem? Two different pages. It seems extremely strange to me. Yeah, I know. Yeah, Rutherford makes quick, decisive decisions for sure. Jack says, KG, we have to flip Sketchikoff. Yeah, okay, yeah. You don't like that one. Okay. You don't like the Carolina deal. Alvin is just window dressing. Nino, I like Montreal trade if they include a first. Yeah, these two together playing for Team Canada are doing awesome. That would be awesome to have both of them. Honestly. Yeah, Alvin and them work close together. So the day he gets a 5.9, everyone will be all about Petey. Sarfy Barry, you're right. If Winnipeg and had Chevy and the other dude, I would demand one be fired. Only one chief in the kitchen. They work good together. I think guys like Petey and Besser are waiting for the new guys. I agree. Keep Sherwood if you don't get a decent first. Kevin, I just don't think we're getting a first. Frank says, as of now, Canucks have never drafted a first rounder overall, knowing their luck will never happen. Yeah, I know. Losing the coin toss hurts. A defenseman from the Czech Republic would be best in 2027. Ooh, okay. Is it Belkorski? Bellohorski? Hosky? Who makes the decisions? I don't know. Maybe it's a team effort. Trade Sherwood to Dallas for just for Hughes versus Sherwood in the playoffs. Oh, that would be awesome for Dallas. The Hague trade, but that guy cannot win a face. Oh, that's the thing. That's where he struggled. He struggled last night in faceoffs. In Winnipeg, only Chevelday of Chevy. Most teams don't have two. Yeah. Nikki says, what's your opinion on Foote? The job he's done as a head coach this year. Also, your opinion on Alvin. Curious to know. Think it's too early to tell with Foote. I think I wasn't a big fan of the hiring. It was part of the we're going to want to keep Quinn Hughes happy deal. I thought they should have went with Malhotra. But just give him time. I mean, he's going to either sink or swim. Right now he's sinking, but I don't know. I mean, it's hard to say for Foote. I could be wrong about this one. And Alvin, okay, I think he's a fine GM. I guess the part I'm having a hard time with is I'm just not a huge fan of he's always politically correct. I like Rutherford better. So is Alvin a bad GM? Probably not. Sherwood for a second would be fair. Maybe Alvin is a bad GM. I don't know. What we're seeing right now is this team as hot garbage. We're last in the league. So Kevin says, you keep Sherwood for a second. Guy just started his odometer. That's fine, but the Canucks don't want to pay him. They don't want to pay him. So I wish they would make a quick decision on PD. This has been dragging on for 2 years. And I'm with you. I think they want to keep him. Okay. After Quinn left, Garland seems to lose his touch. Okay, this video is going long now, everyone. Just going to jump into some people here. Trade EP40 to the Wild for Boldy or Kaprizov. Oh, I'd do that in a heartbeat, but they would not do that. Captain Quitter was not captain material. It was pretty obvious. Too soft-spoken. I mean, the Twins were soft-spoken. They turned out to be, Hendrick turned out to be a decent one. Okay, now everyone's arguing about that. And says, mind you, if Canucks go on a heater, this draft talk will be not, we still have 47 games. It's a lot of road ahead of us. So, Thor says, I would want a Latvian player in the draft. They have heart. Yeah, maybe goaltending or defense. I don't think scoring wise you want one of those guys, but I mean, as a fourth liner, sure. Yeah, heater was 4 games in a row, and then we lose 2, and we're down to last place. Okay, why is Vancouver so harsh on the players? Sedin sisters, soft, huggy. Winnipeg definitely is nicer to our stars. Yeah, we're hard on them for sure. PD has potential. He has been injured. If he is the cancer on the team, trade him. I agree. You don't like Alvin. He's a Swedish bias. He has a Swedish bias and cannot accept personal responsibility for mistakes. Huge ego on this little. He's not little, but he is bald. Okay. Anyways, I gotta run, everyone. This video has gone almost an hour. Thank you so much for being here. 224 people have been in here. That's awesome. Absolutely pumped about you being here. Okay. So we talked at nauseum about this, and thank you so much, everyone. I hope you have a fantastic day. And of course, always, let's keep cheering this team on. I got to fix my intro and outro to get Hughes out of there, but I still have them in there. So bear with me. There's a lot of work to do. And I'm cheering on the World Juniors. I've got tons of content coming out. Have a great day. Go Team Canada. Believe in blue. And of course, always, we cheer this team on. Go Canucks, go.